Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be learning about AI agents and workflows and how to build them. For those of you who are new, my name is James. I'm a software engineer and I've been making videos showing the day in my life and just some of the projects I'm building. But I'm thinking about taking a new approach to this channel and just learning AI and teaching you guys at the same time. Just kind of bringing you along with that journey as I learn and sharing what I learn about it. Before we dive into agents and workflows though, like what makes them different than normal ChatGPT? Let's try to understand that. When you use ChatGPT or Claude normally, you're pretty much just having a conversation. You send a message, you get a message back. You send another one, you get one back. The LLM isn't really doing anything for you. It's not taking any action. It's just answering questions. But what if we want our AI to actually accomplish tasks, make API calls, update databases, do different things? That's where agents and workflows come into play. They're like giving your LLM superpowers. They can interact with the outside world now and do the things that you want them to do. Our first fundamental question, what are AI agents exactly? Anthropic, one of the leading AI companies, defines an AI agent as a system of large language models that can direct their own decision-making processes. They maintain control over how they accomplish a task and the tools they use to do it. So we can think of an AI agent as an assistant that can make its own decisions on how it wants to get its work done. Or a smart intern who doesn't just follow a strict set of guidelines and instructions, but can figure out what it wants to do in the best way possible. Now, on the other hand, Anthropic defines workflows as systems where large language models are orchestrated through predefined code paths. In simpler terms, workflows are like having a detailed recipe. There's a predefined guide for how we want to accomplish this task every single time. So let's come up with an example. Let's take customer service, a bot where you can ask a question to, it can query a knowledge base to get an answer if it needs one, or it can just answer the question. In the workflow, the steps are the same every single time. We classify the question, check the knowledge base, and then generate a response. But in the agent system, the steps are not predefined. The agent decides what action it needs to take next. That's kind of the main difference. This is a very simplified example, but you can kind of see workflows, the steps are predefined every single time. Agents, systems, they can decide what to do. So, which do you use for which? Workflows are great when you have a clear, predefined process and you need consistency and reliability. And agent systems shine when tasks need flexibility or dynamic decision making, or maybe projects might need multiple approaches to solving them. So how am I going to go about building these things throughout these videos? I personally like using the frameworks. You can build them from scratch, but I'm going to be using the frameworks. The popular ones that I'm looking into are LangChain and Crew AI. LangChain is one of the most popular frameworks in the AI space. It provides LangGraph, which is specifically designed for building agentic systems and workflows. LangChain has extensive tool integrations, meaning there's multiple ways to interact with the outside world, and it has great documentation. It is really flexible as well, but that also makes it a little hard because you're programming everything yourself. You're telling it every step it needs to take. The other one is Crew AI. That's a newer framework that's gaining popularity lately, especially when it comes to building multi-agent systems. Crew has a nice intuitive API and built-in process management. It has a strong focus on agent collaboration, and I think it's very simple to use, but I feel a little boxed in. In the upcoming videos, we're going to be using LangChain, Crew AI, and even some OpenAI assistants to see what we can build. I don't want to use no-code solutions right now. I just want to focus on what we as developers can build so that we can keep growing our skills. So let me get into a real-world example here now. I'm going to be using Crew AI to build a resume optimizer. And what we'll do is we'll input a resume, a job description, and a personal bio, and then we'll optimize the resume for the job description. So this will show you how to build with Crew AI and just give you an idea of how these agents work. This part of the video will be a little bit slower because I'll be explaining some of the code as we go, but you can follow along and write the code as well. Today we're going to be building is we're going to take, using Crew AI, we're going to take a job listing, a resume, and a brief description about who I am, and then we're going to have Crew read my resume, read the job listing, read the description, and then come up with a better resume tailored for that job, along with some interview questions. I didn't come up with this workflow. This was actually in one of the Crew AI tutorials that I'll link below. Super helpful, and I think it does a great job of showing just what's capable with these agentic systems. So let's get into it. First, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our development environment. I'm not doing this in a Jupyter notebook or anything like that. This is just in VS Code, so you're going to have to get Python set up. I'm not really doing that in this tutorial. You could use a Jupyter notebook or just watch some videos on how to set up Python. So we're just going to jump right in. So again, we're going to be using Crew AI, so we need to import Crew AI. We're also using OpenAI, so we need to import that and get our API keys. Serper is a tool that Crew uses to search the internet. It's just one of the tools that they allow you to use to search the internet. I'm sure there's more. I've had pretty good luck with Serper. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our tools. Okay, so a couple tools that we need for Crew are file read. We need to scrape the web. We need markdown search, and we need the Serper development tool. Why markdown search? Why file read? Because I have uploaded my current resume in Markdown in the file system, right? And then we need Serper to search the internet, so that's why we need the Serper tool. And then we need the scrape tool to be able to scrape the internet and read it. So this is how we set up those tools. We have the search tool, the scrape tool, read resume, this is my file path, and semantic search, so we can read it. This is why I like Crew. The setup is very simple. It's very declarative. You declare your agents, you declare your task, and then you declare your crew, and then you just say kickoff. So let's start with the agents. So this is our first agent. It's a tech researcher. You give each agent a role, a goal, and a backstory. Those are the key components, but you can also give it things like tools, right? Each agent can have its own tools at its disposal. I put verbose there just so I could see its train of thought. But the role for this agent is you're a tech job researcher. Make sure to do an amazing analysis on job postings to help job applicants. As a job researcher, your prowess is blah, 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 right? So Crew really focuses on giving these agents really good backstories. They say it really helps the agent get into it and figure out how to do its job the best. So don't skimp on these. Let's add some other agents. Okay, the next one we're going to add is the profiler. And this one is, its role is to create a personal profile for engineers. Now notice we haven't been giving these agents any jobs, just kind of like job titles, right? Software engineer, but I don't know what I'm doing yet. So that's kind of how you think of these. We're just assigning the team. We haven't given them their job yet. Next, we have our resume strategist. This one is, that's its role. Resume strategist for engineers. Find the best ways to make a resume stand out for the market. And it has its tools. And then our last agent in this system is going to be an interview preparer. Now, just touching on agents real quick, you don't need this many, right? We're creating our own workflow. We're creating our own agentic system here. Like, you can have as many or as few as you want. What I've learned building these systems is the smaller the role of the agent, the better it does at that task. So I've had better luck creating systems with multiple smaller, more niched agents than just one that can do a lot. So we've defined the team. Now let's give each member on the team a job. First, we have the research task, right? We give it a description, the expected output, and who is assigned to that job. Analyze the job posting on the URL defined with, notice we have some interpolation here. So that means that there's going to be some input that can come into this variable to extract key skills, experiences, qualifications required, blah, 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 right? This is the expected output, a structured list of job requirements, including necessary skills. Cool. And the researcher is the agent assigned to it. Async execution. What does this mean? So we're in a workflow, right, where we know the order that we want things to kind of be done, but some of these tasks are not dependent on the prerequisite one. So what we can do is we can have some tasks start working at the same time. And that's what this async means. It means that you can do this work alongside another agent. So let's get our next task in there. We have the research task, so now let's add the profile task. Compile the detailed personal and professional profile of the person, right? So it's using the GitHub, using the personal write-up, and compile a good profile for this developer. All right, next we have the resume strategy. Okay, using the profile and job requirements obtained from the previous task, right? Tailor the resume to highlight the most relevant areas. See now, notice this task was async, but this one is not. So what's gonna happen is these two tasks are gonna work at the same time, and then after those two tasks are done, it's gonna come here. How do we know this task will wait? Because notice we added another field here called context, which is saying you know what the research task output was, and you know what the profile task output is. And it's now gonna use these two contexts to do this task. And the output file, see just another new property, we're saying, hey, we want you to output a tailored resume file. And this goes to the resume strategist. And then our last task is for the interview preparer. Notice for this resume strategy, it technically stops here, right? It outputs the tailored resume, but in the crew, they gave a good example of just having another agent do another task at the same time that's complementary. And this agent's gonna come up with good interview prep questions. So create a set of potential interview questions and talking points based on the tailored resume. So again, context here is research task, profile task, resume strategy task, and this interview material, right? And that, who is doing it. Now let's define the crew. So this is how you define a crew with Crew AI, right? Tell who the agents are, what are the tasks, and again, this is just so I can see the train of thought. Crew is super simple. I like that about it because it's very easy to learn and just get started. There's no like complicated logic here. They're doing all of that for you. But it's still in the weeds of you can build on this in your own projects, right? You can have this crew component living somewhere in one of your projects where you just kick things to. It's not like a no-code tool where you have to match how they do things. I don't know. I like building these myself, so I've been enjoying Crew. So now let's find a job listing. Okay. I found this random one on Monster, right? Senior mobile developer with Flutter experience. And it has some job responsibility, like it's just a normal senior job. So I'm gonna take this link and give it to our crew. So these are our inputs. You can have as few or as many inputs as you want, and you name them so that you can use them above like this, right? So it's pretty helpful. So we have this job listing. I have my GitHub, a personal write-up. You know, some resumes, it's helpful to have the little description. So I just added some random crap. Okay, how do we run this now? Now we simply just say crew kickoff, and then I can just print the results, right? And that's it. So let's run it and see how it works. Okay, so here we go, we're running it. All right, it's a little hard to follow, so I'm just gonna kind of go over some. So notice it's telling you right here, the agent that picked up the task, what task that agent is doing, right? And then it kicked off the next one because remember these first two are asynchronous. So it's saying job tech researcher, what task it's doing. Notice it's gonna search this link, and then it's gonna start by gathering, it tells you what it's doing, thought. I will start by gathering information from the GitHub, right? It's reading my GitHub, job tech researcher. What I liked with Crew is it fails gracefully. So I used this monster link because I knew it would block me, right? So notice what happens here. It seems like it encountered an issue when trying to access the site. I might need to find another way. So it couldn't get to monster.com because of ad blocker or some kind of bot detection, whatever. So what it's doing now is it's going to search the internet for senior mobile developer with Flutter experience in Irving, Texas, right? And then boom, it found some links, and it's just going to try them. And then now we're at the resume strategist, using the profile and job requirements. Do your job, right? So then boom. So now let's review the files. So we have my original resume with all of my different skills and jobs that I've had, and we have my tailored resume. Okay, it structures the information pretty different, has a professional summary, lists my skills here, focusing on mobile, it seems, which makes sense because of the role. And it broke them down by category, which is kind of cool. And yeah, so then it says this resume reflects James Harrison's qualifications and experiences relevant to the role, highlighting in his experience in Flutter and mobile app development. So my work history is pretty broad, so I guess for this resume, it tailored it to mobile as much as possible. Now let's check out the interview prep. Okay, so again, talking points for James. How's your academic background in computer engineering prepared you for the role? Gives you some good answers. This is helpful actually because interviewing is tough because how do you practice it? You don't know what they're going to ask you. So this kind of helps you hit the ground running or have some things to talk about in an interview. But yeah. But yeah, that's the end of this video, guys. It probably went a little longer than I wanted it to, but I really wanted to kind of give you guys a good introduction to what AI agents and workflows are, and then also show you a simple example that you can copy the code for. I'm going to link below, I think his name is Zhao from Crew AI. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, so my bad if I mispronounced it. His tutorial, and I'll also link some of LangChain's YouTube channel videos that I found helpful. I'm going to be making more videos like this, but instead of this long-winded introduction, they're going to be more specific to how to build things with AI and these frameworks. I've been messing around with some stuff like I wrote a GitHub pull request description writer. So what it will do is it will watch your GitHub when a pull request goes in. It then reads all the code changes and then writes a good summary and tells you some things to watch out for. I thought that was pretty cool. So if you guys are interested in seeing how to build that, like this video, put a comment, and any kind of ideas that you have that you want to see, let me know and I'll build them too. I want to learn alongside you guys, so let's just help share. This is dragging. How do I end this video? Cool. So that was just one example of what's possible with AI agents. In our next video, we'll start building some similar things, but step by step, starting with a single AI agent and then gradually adding more complexity. So in the next video, we're going to still focus on Python because most of these agentic tools use Python, so I'm trying to learn Python at the same time. And I'm most likely going to use Crew for that video. Maybe I'll do a Crew AI and LangChain in the same video just to show you how both work for the same agent. Not 100% sure yet. If you have ideas or if you have some agentic systems that you want to see me build, let me know. But yeah, if you found this helpful, give it a like. Drop any questions in the comments below. If I made any mistakes, correct it in the comments. That way other people can learn. I'm here to learn and learn with you guys and then show you guys what I'm learning along the way. So, peace.